Yes, Hanako, we're going for lunch.
Would you like to have lunch with us again? I brought enough for everyone.
Awesome. You don't have to be so stiff about it, though. Ah, right.
After all, I've seen you naked.
No, I haven't. I haven't reached that point in the game. I take it we're going to the tea room?
Please?
Lily said
Lily said she'd meet us in there, so we should go ahead together.
Sounds like a plan. This heat has actually made me pretty hungry. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual din of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. Hanako slowly spreads her food on the table, intently focusing on every little movement, as if she's trying to keep her mind off other. She wants to touch Hisao's butt. That's the thoughts she's trying to break. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she's prepared everything with the utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start off without her?
She'll be here soon.
Hanako struggles with the lid of the container of rice. Here, let me help with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force open the lid. Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. Let me guess. Did you put this in while the rice was still hot?
Yeah, I was in a rush.
I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. It looks like it's wedged shut. We'll need to get some hot water for it to open. But that could be a pain in here. We get water everywhere. Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Since you two had a change of plans because of me, I thought I would bring a little something. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With little guidance, Lily's bread assortment joins Hanako's riceless platter. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest not to look like she's looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking I know that feel, bruh. Not bad. I guess it was made with the stuff you bought yesterday?
Yes?
Hanako's eyes shout at me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it's certainly worth it. Thanks, Hanako.
I wanted to show you this after yesterday.
It's okay, I was actually just a little surprised at the stuff you were buying. Hanako's always liked to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good. Most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. It's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was alright. Her cheeky grin tells me this was deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try and work out how to get one over her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good, and that's all that counts, right?
Right.
Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as I watch her chopsticks gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing, and trying to quickly ascertain the positions of the food as she dexterously picks it up. One might think she were a child playing with her food if not for the situation. Though she does it with such care and thoughtlessness, it's obvious that it's simply how she eats how she eats this kind of meal. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling up myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have had our hands clear before quickly snatching up her share. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still-shut rice container. Thank you, Hanako. That was filling.
No, thank you for the bread.
Yeah, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You're both welcome, my dears. But now I must be getting back. It is far too easy to be late after eating here. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up here and then head off. Well then, good day. Lily leaves, her cane tapping away down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack our things and stay seated waiting for the bell. Together, we stare out the window into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I could have sworn time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glass at Hanako, who shows no signs of moving either.
Not just yet.
The interval between the warning bells, the end of lunch bell, passes in the blink of an eye. We really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs.
You're right.
Slowly, she rises to her feet, and I follow suit. Silently, we make our way up the old stairs to the 3rd floor, and then to our classroom. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we're late, Mr. Mewtwo. I'm greeted not by stern words, nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply by the silence created by 15 of students trying not to laugh. Mewtwo, ever tardy, had yet to arrive. He was too busy cloning Pokemon. Make that about 14 students trying, and 1 student failing.
The lovers return!
Yeah, thanks. You can calm the fuck down now, fucking Pinkie Pie. I step through the door and realize Hanako is firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from the class. With my steps coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiffly walks to her own. Her efforts to mentally block everyone's presence from her mind are written clearly on her face. Quickly checking the door for any signs of Mewtwo's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha. She's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but she still doesn't show her face. Mewtwo. I yearn to stay and console her more, but Mewtwo picks the exact moment to enter the class, halfway through his lecture as if he started it in the hallway. Which, of course, is directly proportional to the charge, but inversely proportionally— Wait, I thought he was the English teacher! He's so engrossed in his speech he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Mewtwo's spiel rambles on, Misha leans over to me.
The teacher may not have noticed your tardiness, but I did.
That much is obvious from the show you just put on.
I have been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but on one condition.
Oh, and what would that be?
You have to help us this afternoon!
I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council, remember? I am not joining the Jedi Council. Of course.
Of course, doing so would be considered...
She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for a place in the script.
Under duress, and hence would be against regulations.
How very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now.
Things should be done by the book.
If you do your cooking by the book, making shit is easy.
It's just the book hasn't been written for every situation, so there are times when it can be ignored.
And yet you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her work. Hisao's getting snarky up in here. I think he's slowly becoming, less beta. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have placed their hands on both my shoulders. Hey, I said I'd help out, damn!
This is just insurance, Hisao. Insurance. Hisao?
Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us. I suddenly realize this may be my one chance to escape. Oh, hey Hanako, what's up? ...
Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat?
You're ours, white boy.
Oh, relax, this won't take long. Sorry, Hanako, you were saying?
I was going to go to the library, and I thought...
Hanako's thumbs dance around each other, and her eyes flit around the room, looking everywhere but at us.
Sorry, Hanako, but Hisao has to come with us. He's got work to do. ...
Yes, we have him now. You cannot resist me. He shall fall under my power. The power of Shizune. Servant of Yog-Sothoth.
Oh, but you can help too if you'd like. So how about it, Hisao?
What do you think, Hanako? I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna defer to my agent. What do you say, Hanako? If we all help, it shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words.
I really need to go.
Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. It's easy to resign myself to the afternoon's work in the small council office. I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Okay.
Right! Now that the farewells are over, it's work time!
Misha and Shizune frog march me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if it's the price of getting Misha off my back, so be it. So then, what are we doing today?
Debrief!
Isn't that supposed to happen after something?
Yep, we have to collate all the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers.
Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles succinctly.
You need to sort these into 2 piles. One for financial stuff like receipts, one for feedback, one for positive feedback, maybe one for things that look like they could be problems for next year, and one for problems that already won't be able to be fixed.
That's a few more than 2 piles.
Alright, I thought there would only be 2 piles. My bad, I'm illiterate.
Right, while I'm doing this, what will you two chuckle fucks be doing?
Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all these reports, so we're going to go get some food.
Why didn't you two just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my big fat mouth and worsening my situation.
Eh? How is that fair? ...
We must help this poor bastard! I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much I didn't notice that Shizune had keep on signing. If it wasn't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune, then sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves at both of us before disappearing out the door. Later, fuckers! What was that all about?
Shi-chan was worried you'd get it all wrong unless you were supervised. And since she can't tell you how you're messing things up, she's making me stay. Aw, bummer! I wanted to go with Shi-chan! But she's gonna bring us back some food. How good is that?
Misha's flippancy is out of this fucking world. From down in the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So what are we supposed to be doing?
Collation!
I gathered that.
Well, let's just start making piles and work out what the piles mean later.
Right. We started to separate all the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's simple categories: financial, feedback, incident reports, butt touching. Then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still until it starts to look like we just thrown papers onto the desk. This is hopeless.
Huh, why? We're doing what we're told, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're just making a mess.
No, I think I've got a lot done. Shi-chan will be able to work the rest from here. So I think we can stop about here.
It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. Well, probably. Still, there's no point in arguing.
Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako?
Deal?
You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Are you trying to touch her butt? Have there been any fireworks? Gossip that you're withholding from me?
If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it?
I guess not, but I'm illiterate.
We're just friends, I guess. Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her.
It's not really like that. You know Shi-chan and Lily don't get along well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean I can't be concerned for her.
What is there to be concerned about?
Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, Hee-chan. If Shizune and Lily...
Wait, what? Oh, wait, that's my thoughts. Whoops. If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I'd hate to see how Misha and Hanako would get along.
I mean, one way or the other, we're all in the same boat here, right?
Well, I guess.
This one time, she left class halfway through, Shi-chan went to the teacher and asked what's going to be done about it. He said that every student has special needs and that Shi-chan shouldn't worry herself about it. Hanako never does any group work, she just runs off. Is that enough to be concerned about?
I guess you're right. She hardly says a word when we're talking.
Well, that's more than I'd been able to do. Shi-chan and I tried both when she started, but she got scared and ran off. 'Cause I'm really fucking loud! I think I might be partially deaf myself!
I considered telling Misha the exactly same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in thought. Listening to Misha without Shizune's influence is interesting. I think
she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like and that she can trust us. If she could, I'd feel a lot better about her.
I think this is the longest I've watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she's constantly waving her hands about, explaining the world to Shizune. The amount of effort probably places a strain on even an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha is dumb as a sack of shit. Well, I'll keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako's cut out for that kind of joke.
Oh? I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
Don't say it to me, mention it to her.
Alright, first thing tomorrow, I will speak to her.
Good. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess you can't really tell how much noise she's making.
Oh, Shi-chan, you're back!
Shizune appears, completely laden with goods from the convenience store. ...
There was some surplus left from the festival. Since it's officially festival business, I have splurged a little. Nice idea, Shi-chan. 10 points to Gryffindor.
Is that really allowed? No.
For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to be taking an unhealthy interest in the politics of this Jedi Council. Master Skywalker. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast.
Fine, I get it. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realize it's a little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least, it's filling. ...
Thanks for helping today. Most of the time we just make up reports on the staff. This year we can at least make some relevant headings on the debrief.
Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization?
Not at all. We're by the books. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough.
I thought that was the definition of corruption.
Haha, I'm illiterate, and you think too much.
You know what, you're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. I need to go touch my girlfriend's butt. That is, if I'm allowed to leave. ...
Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave.
Well, thank you, almighty mistress. You know, if you stressed the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you'd probably end up with more recruits.
You might have a point.
Well, think about it. And think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want.
What? Alright, I'll try and see her tomorrow. Good night, Hee-chan.
Night, Misha, Shizune. Do 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 do. Chirping birds. Normally this would be a good time to reflect upon the beauty of nature, but it's 6 a.m. Covering my... Why am I burping every time I play this game? It's weird. It's like the feels are having a verse effect on my fucking gastrointestinal system. Covering my head with a pillow, I slam my face into the mattress, hoping that the impact will send me instantly back to sleep. Futile. I toss and turn, but sleep simply will not return to me. Alright, nature, you've won. See, I'm getting up now. Lack of sleep weighs my mind down. There's only one remedy for this. A nice, hearty breakfast. It'd be nice to be the first person here, to be first to dig into a piping hot pile of food, to sit wherever I desire. It would have been nice, but even my exceptionally early start has put me behind the most diligent students. I guess there are quite a few people that have early starts here for one reason or another. A group of students in sports clothes huddle around one table, eagerly discussing game plans between inhaling great gulps of food. Tink tink! Scattered around the hill are a number of bleary-eyed students probably suffering from the same ailment as myself, noisy birds. And of course there are people who are actually enjoying getting up this early, the ones with a bag stuffed full of textbook and a completed homework. It's not hard to despise people like that, even more so when you're tired yourself. Picking out a familiar face from the thin crowd, I head towards the nearest table. Lily said, "Oh, it's Tink Tink isn't here." When he said sports, I assumed Tink Tink would be here. Lily sits alone, delicately feeling away around a small plate of eggs with a fork. I was almost ashamed to interrupt her in her clockwork movements. I wonder, is this how a blind person zones out, simply moving in predetermined patterns learned over the years, like a sighted person would eat while reading a newspaper? Good morning, Lily. I didn't expect you to be here this early. Oh, Hisao, you startled me. I didn't know you took breakfast this early. I don't. This is an exception to the rule. I'd greatly prefer to be late to school than early to breakfast. Lily gives a small sigh at my admitted tardiness, and I began eating my food. It doesn't take her long to lapse back in her previous mindless nibbling. Each short motion lacks energy. I suppose this is similar to letting your eyes wander while performing any ordinary chore. But after a few repetitions of the find food, eat food cycle, Lily puts down her fork and dabs her lips with a napkin. Hisao, do you mind if I ask you a question? Damn. All I want is a little food and 4 hours of sleep. Nobody says, can I ask you a question? For a simple question. Sure. Do you think of Hanako as a friend? Huh, this seems like a leading question. I guess so. Why do you ask? No real reason. I do have another question, though. Why is it that you think of her as a friend? Because I want to touch her butt. This is well above my level. What is she expecting from me? I'm not really sure. I guess it's because she's a little different in the way she deals with people. Since I've known her, she hasn't really connected with anyone. She doesn't seem interested in other people, and I think people are a little scared of her by her appearance. Really? I thought that kind of thing was discouraged here, discriminating and such. If I were to put it one way, she furrows her brow in thought, a movement makes slightly anxious of what she's plucking from her mind. I'd say you're a little naive. Naive? I'd be insulted if not for the slightly cynical grin on her face. I see. While Yamaku has a stronger sense of community compared to other schools, it's far from being free of conflict. Rules cannot remove human nature, after all, only suppress it. And humans are dicks. That's something I've noticed, actually. Some asshole actually moved a chair an inch to the left when I was having tea one day. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? That's little things, like how certain people in cliques avoid each other in hallways. It's no... Oh, shit, that's Hisao talking. Even Lily and Shizune could be considered bitter rivals, even though they both seem like fairly accepting people. Well, at least the Misha-tinted Shizune does. Who knows what actually goes on with her fingers behind her glasses. I guess you're right, but when I first came here, everything was a bit of a shock. I kept on making mistakes, or at least thinking I was making mistakes. Like when we first met, and I said, I see, to you. I didn't know if that was considered rude or anything, so I just tried to put it in the back of my mind. Treating people differently and that kind of thing. So I didn't. I told myself that Hanako and you and everyone else was just normal, and I tried to ignore the obvious. You fucking liar! I talked to Hanako as if she was any other person, and so we became friends. At least that's how I think it happened. But, I feel guilty from just saying that aloud. And if I took extra effort to think of Hanako or you or someone as normal people, I don't think that's right. Hisao, I think you're naive, but I also think you're a good person. It is perhaps one of your better traits. I suppose I can take that as a compliment. Tell me, are you free tonight? If you don't count homework, I'm as free as the breeze. In that case, would you care to join myself and Hanako for tea? I don't really have that much money at the moment, since going out it really isn't really... Oh, I didn't mean going out, I mean just here, this evening. You can access the classrooms in the evening here? No, that's not what I meant. Hanako and I often use my room for tea parties together. Please feel free to drop by after dusk! I'm fairly certain they're neighbors. So that means I have reached the point right before a girl invites you to her place. Sure, I see no problem with that. What's your room number? 225, room 25 on the second floor. Oh, okay, sure. Well then, I'd best be off. I have class representative duties to attend to, after all. My people need me. Yeah, catch you later. Hang on, was I just invited to a girl's room after hours? Is that allowed? There's the curfew here, but I've never heard any rules about visitors in the dorm rooms. Even still, this is enough to get my sleep-deprived brain jump-started! Add that to a lukewarm breakfast and you have one hell of a pick-me-up. Alright, player. Alright, player. You're at the home stretch. Just reel 'em in. Reel 'em in. Reel that shit in. And you might just be a little bit lucky. I'm gonna save.